1, 2, и? 1, 2, 2. Это гласно. Имаш потреба до толку. Еве. 1, 2, и? 1, 2, 2.
Dobro.
Good morning. Can you hear me? Is this working? Yeah, good. Ah, good morning, everybody. Here is the third day and the second day with the lectures of our second Prometheus workshop. And it is my pleasure first to give the word to Professor Daniela Tosheva from the Institute of Classical Studies to the St. Cyril and Methodius University of Skopje, who will speak to us about marriage and gender dynamics in the epigraphic evidence. Daniela.
Thank you for introducing me. So today I'm going to present to you two epigraphic monuments, two Laudationes Funebris, and special subject is something that Justinian in Novel 22 describes as the kairiotaton pragma, which means the most vital things of all, and that is marriage, matrimony. He continues, and I will paraphrase this, that via matrimony we can produce legitimate children. This is the legitimate way to have progeny and to continue the family line, to secure immortality to our family, but also to the humanity as well, as a whole, and of course by God's will. So this concept is not a new one, because according to Roman law previously, the ultimate purpose of marriage was to have legitimate children and to continue the family line. Marriage, according to the famous Roman jurist Modestinus, you can see here the definition. This is a very famous definition, and it is also used in the canon law. He says that marriage is a union of a man and a woman, a partnership for the whole life, involving divine as well as human law. So this view is not very different across cultures in different historical periods, especially if we focus on the part that marriage is a partnership for whole life. Of course, this Modestinus definition is not a moral prerequisite, legal prerequisite, sorry. Maybe we can say it's somewhat socially accepted mode or expectation, desideratum, because this is the ideal, what everyone wants. Regarding epitaphs, they tend to follow also standard formulas to present ideal marriage, and they contain texts or images which are very conventional, but sometimes they depart from the conventions, and this departure is very revealing, gives a revealing look at the intentions and the aspirations of those involved. And those involved are the laudator and the laudata. Because I say laudata because I'm going to speak about two women on two funerary orations. So this departure from the standard formula is what we are going to see in these monuments. And when we talk about marriage, this usually refers to the gender roles of the spouses. But first, let me briefly introduce you to Laudationes Funebris. Delivery of a speech praising the virtues of the deceased was a usual part of the Roman funeral ceremony, and this is supported by a great deal of evidence, primary and secondary. And these speeches were made in honor of illustrious men and were delivered from the rostra. So these were public speeches. Their structure is approximately the same. It covers specific areas of achievement which pertain to the public life, and they can be generalized by the following virtues you can see on the slide. But this is not a checklist. Military reputation, capacity in public speaking, success in public life, honorable financial success, and good fortune in leaving successors. So everything pertains to the public life. And this type of commemoration was expected from the upper echelons of the Roman society. Women, on the other hand, they were expected to have no or less achievement in public life and much more in family life, domestic life. And this is confirmed in the literature and in the epigraphic sources as well. So there are 3 Latin funerary orations which are preserved in honor of women, and they're very extensive, all of which are typical representations of Matrona Romana. These are Laudatio Turiae, Laudatio Murdiae, and Laudatio Matidiae. The first 2 orations are the ones that I'm going to present because they belong approximately to the same period, that is the Principate of Augustus. So the third one, Laudatio Matidiae, belongs to the Hadrian rule. And this is a period when some laws regarding women's legal capacity are slightly changed. So these 2 are more close and the same legal rules apply to them. These women weren't praised from the rostra, but from the funeral pyre, maybe. And the conventional virtues of these female laudatae and other female laudatae are, as you can see here on the slide, chastity, pudicitia, modestia, obsequium or obedience to the husband, and lanificium, wool work. All of these are domestic virtues. Of course, these women we're going to see are exceptional, so there is room for more virtues which trespass the generic boundaries. Even though these women were praised privately, it doesn't mean that no woman was praised from the rostra. There are exceptions which became rule later in the imperial times. But all of these exceptions are made have political motives. So from Cicero we hear that the consul Quintus Lutatius Catulus, approximately 100 years BC, praised his mother from the rostra, his mother Popilia, who was aged Matrona. We also know from Plutarch that Caesar praised his aunt from paternal side, Julia, and his young wife, Claudia, who died approximately the same year. He praised them from the rostra. But these praises were politically motivated. And this was precedent, Caesar praising his young woman wife, because these laudationes from the rostra for women were only meant for aged matronae. This is something I chose for you to see. Uh, this is probably a laudatio. Someone is reading the laudatio. This is the deceased. And of course, this is a private funeral. This is not an oration delivered from the rostra. So let me start now with the first laudatio, Turia. This is apart from the inscription. Actually, this is maybe the longest Latin inscription erected by a private individual. This is not, it's not preserved entirely. Also, the second one, it's not preserved entirely. So there are part missing, and there are many questions open. So the name Turia, first, let me explain this. Theodore Mommsen in the 19th century attributed this epitaph to the consul Quintus Lucretius Vespilo, who was consul in the 19th year BC. His wife was Turia, but this is discredited today. This is disputed, her identification. The identification of the laudator and the laudata are insignificant for this lecture, but for the sake of convenience, I will use the conventional name Turia. The laudator is the husband of the deceased woman, with whom he was married for 41 years. And he says, rara sunt tam diuturna matrimonia. Rare are marriages as long as ours. Marriages ended by death, not cut short by divorce. It was granted to us that ours lasted into its 41st year without any wrongdoing. I wish that our long enduring union had been altered by something happening to me, not to you. This is conventional. It would have been more just for the elder partner to yield to fate. So it's obvious that he was much older than her, and this was also conventional, as we can see from the visual representations. And why is this an exception? This is the first exception. Because during the late Roman Republic, the 1st century BC, divorces were very common. Long marriages were really rara avis in this period, but not later when Augustus issued several statutes. For example, the first one was Lex Julia de Adulteris Quercendis. Later on, Lex Julia and Papia Poppaea, which is a common name for two statutes. The first one is Lex Julia de Ordinibus Maritandis. The exact date is unknown, but it is issued after Lex Julia de Adulteris Quercendis. And the second one is addition to this one, Lex Julia Papia Poppaea, Lex Papia Poppaea, excuse me, which was issued in 9th year AD. So all of these laws of Augustus are for marriage, promotion, and procreation of legitimate children, which were the future manpower of the Roman Empire. And this is the hallmark of the Augustan legislation, which was recognized by the Augustan poets and the contemporary historians. So this marriage of Turia and her husband was exceptional to begin with, and for other reasons as well, which I'm going to enumerate. The laudator doesn't speak of her in third person, which is usual, but he speaks to her. He speaks in second person. He praises her eventful and virtuous life. He uses those qualities that you saw on the previous slide, but he adds much more by narrating her eventful life. So he begins with the death of her parents. She did something exceptional here. Her parents were killed during these turbulent years in the Roman history. She was not married back then. She was only a sponsor to her husband. He was a future husband. He was away in Provincia, Macedonia, and the husband of her sister was also away on duty in Africa. So she had to face this alone. She revenged the death of her parents, which was her duty, because otherwise she would have lost her hereditary rights if she didn't avenge the death of the testator, which was her father. But she also faced problems with will, or her father's will. He left in the will the property to Turia, to her sister, and to her future husband, probably as a legatum. And there were third party which contested the will. They said that during the marriage of her father and her mother changed her status. She went to capitis diminutio minima. She changed her status. So he had to change the testament, the will, but he didn't do that. So they said that this will is invalid. And they also wanted to become tutor mulieris to Turia, because when her father died, she becomes automatically sui juris. But you know that in this period, women were had to have tutor mulieris, because they were incapable, they didn't have legal capacities. Even though they were sui juris, they were no longer under patria potestas. So they wanted to become her tutors and to manage her property entirely. But she managed to honor her father's will. We don't know how she did that, but the property was left to her and her sister and her future husband. Afterwards, what she did, she went to the home of her future husband, where she waited for him. They got married. And the next exceptional deeds of Turia is her saving her husband's life 2 times, because he was proscribed. Afterwards, he was hiding, and she begged some very famous and powerful politicians in Rome. And after everything they went through, he says that she saved his life for 2 times. After Pax Romana was established, they didn't enjoy their lives because they didn't have children. This was a problem. And she wanted him to divorce her in order to have legitimate children with other wife. But he loved her, and he thought that this is a repulsive thought, and he discredited her for that, and they stayed together till the end. She took care of her relatives who didn't have money for dowry, female relatives. So everything else that he enumerates as her qualities trespass this gender boundary, because these are the virtues of men, usually ascribed to men. And these are courage, or virtus, which comes from vir, firmitas animi, firmness of mind, steadfastness or constantia, and endurance, patientia. These are the qualities that Turia possessed. But by enumerating these male qualities to his wife, he doesn't lose his manliness. On the contrary, he's more appreciated having such woman with all of these female virtues, but acts manly in order to save her husband. She trespassed the gender boundary for a noble deed, to save her husband. Okay, I just want to show you some visual representation for the age gap, because Slavica sent me some photos of married couples here in Macedonia from epitaphs, but they were I couldn't discern from these pictures if there is an age gap between the spouses, but these are pictures from Rome, from the same period when Laudatio Turia was erected. And we can see that the age gap is really significant here. This is a Roman citizen. He wears stola. The woman is dressed in stola. She's Roman matrona. They were from the upper echelons, I guess. And the wrinkles are visible on his face. She's obviously young. The same is valid from these two couples from the same period, from Rome. The first couple, they're Libertini. The husband is much, much older from the wife. The second couple, only the woman is Libertina. The husband is some kind of priest. So this was actually the norm. Turia and her husband were not exceptional. The second inscription is Laudatio Murdiae. This is an inscription commissioned by the son to his mother. The son is from the first marriage, so she was not univira as was Turia, and univira is a Roman ideal. But she was remarried, and this is something that was accepted from the Augustan legislation. Women and men were coerced to marry, otherwise they were penalized. So what we have here in Laudatio Murdiae, a woman who was praised for her conventional qualities, as was Turia, but what makes her exceptional is that she distributed her property in her will equally to all her children. And let me read this. She made, as he says, she made all her sons equal heirs after her daughter had been given a share. Probably her daughter got a legatum, and her motherly love is evident from her devotion to her children and from the equality of their shares. She willed a fixed sum to her husband, the speaker's stepfather, so that his right under the dowry should be increased through the distinction of her decision. Otherwise, the moral virtues that the Laudator enumerates are the following: modestia, probitas, pudicitia, obsequium, lanificium, diligentia, and fides. The exceptionality of this woman is, as I said, her rightly distribution of her property, but especially this. He says, but not with intention that she might set me ahead of my brothers through some reproach against them, but mindful of my father's generosity, she decided to return to me what she received from my patrimony through my father's decision. She gave him back the property she inherited from her first husband. Because according to Roman law, if he died intestate, the woman gets 1/10 from the property, and she gets 1/10 for every child. She probably had one child, this son, from the first marriage, so she gets 2/10 from his property, and she is giving back to her son. She's not obliged to do that, but she was exceptional. That's why she did that. So how can a woman make, I only want to say this, how can a woman make a will because she didn't have legal capacities? She had three ways to achieve that. Somewhere after the year 9 AD, when Lex Papia Poppaea was issued, women had the right, Justrium Liberorum, the right of three children. If she had three children, she was released from tutor mulieris, so she could write a will on her own. But if it was written before, she had the other two options. Either she was emancipated, but even if she was emancipated from her father, which means selling her through the emancipatio, she ultimately had to have tutor mulieris in order to write the will. This was formal, but she couldn't do that alone. Or the third option is she did coemptio with pactum fiduciae, which means she changed her status, as did Turia's mother during her married life with her father, which is called capitis diminutio minima. She changed her status, her family status. She became agnate from one family to other family. She cut the relations with the previous agnate family. We don't know how she did that because these are the details that are not revealed in the inscription. I will go to the conclusion. Okay, yeah. So these funerary stela present an idealized image of both women and the couples, in which concordia prevails. So the concordia is something that is desideratum in married life, not only in the antiquity, but through history. And if we want to get a more realistic picture of married couples and women individually, we can see that in the legal papyri and in the private letters where they are faced with problems. And this is the private papyri, the private letters, the legal papyri that belong to couples, women, men, whatever. They are like peeping tom. We are like peeping toms. We are looking through a window to see what the other family does, what they do. So I think that these are more revealing for what really happened back then and what was their ideal and their real problems than these laudationes, because they're not idealized. That was it, because the time is over here. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Daniela, for this interesting presentation, which really shows the cross-section between epigraphy and law, which is quite often so important for our work. And now I have the pleasure to give the word to Professor Nikolai Sharanko from the Department of Classics to the University of Sofia, who will speak to us about... let me check my program now. Discovering the past and promoting universal values through verse inscriptions. And Nikolai, the floor is yours.
Dear colleagues, I have worked with databases for ancient inscriptions for more than 15 years, together with my colleague Dimitar Iliev. So we have some experience, and I must say that initially our goal was to make simply a scholarly editions of these inscriptions. But later we realized that it is very important to address these digital editions to the general public as well. And I think that verse inscriptions are most easily accepted and understood by the general audience because they share some universal values which are as actual now as they were in the past. I will not speak about our two projects because most of you know them very well. Uh, the earliest one, Telamon, for the ancient Greek inscriptions, and the one we started very recently about the Latin inscriptions from Bulgaria. As you know, our goal is to revise the old editions and to add the new inscriptions which were discovered later and usually scattered through various publications. And we always want to compare the editions with the original monuments. And so we are able to present many revised readings. We have joined fragments which were previously thought to belong to separate monuments. And we have offered new readings for difficult texts. Uh, and now I will speak about some universal values which we see in verse inscription. As I said, verse inscription, according to my experience with, so to say, not specialists, with ordinary people, because I had many times lectures to various groups of people, to children, to students. And I have seen that they are usually not interested, for example, in some very important for us honorific inscriptions or prosopography or the army and so on, but they are always moved when they know more about verse inscriptions. The first topic which I will address is the tribute to the dead. Of course, most of our verse inscriptions are epitaphs, so they offer very different aspects of death and of the people's mm, people's look upon death, their understanding of that. And one of my favorite inscriptions connected with this topic because it provides one of the best and I would say the most concise description of a funerary monument is this epitaph from Augusta Treviana, a city in Thrace, which is famous for its attitude towards literacy, rhetorics, and with many beautiful epigrams. Mm, in this text, as you can see, the three main functions of the funerary monument are defined. First, for the heroized deceased person, it served as an altar. And for the living people, it was a memorial. And finally, it was a mark for the physical remains of the person. These three functions exist still in our modern grave monuments, probably not, some of them not so explicitly understood, but still everyone is able to understand the meaning of this text and to understand that the ancient person who wrote the text and who mm, dedicated this author shared the same values with us. Another example, again from the territory of Augusta Traiana, an epitaph for a 12-year girl who died too young. Of course, these young people who died before mm, the expected time are usually offer very moving stories, and because there are such cases nowadays, of course. But here the interesting thing is the last verse, which says that Aphrodite made this deceased girl a new star of beauty in the sky. Of course, we can connect this notion with other ancient sources. I will show only the well-known epigram ascribed to Plato about a favorite of his, whom he calls Aster, and he compares his shining in the earth life with his shining among the dead after his death. But what is interesting and which is unexpected is that this belief about dead people becoming stars is actually popular nowadays, at least in Bulgaria and probably in the other Balkan lands as well. And so this story of this girl who died young can be connected with some still living beliefs of the population about the loss of people, which we hope to see somewhere either in our dreams or in the night sky as stars. The next example, which I will show, is a Christian epitaph. It is one of the earliest Christian inscriptions in the region, because it was initially published only from a photograph. The first editor thought that it was a reused stele with a secondary inscription. However, when one sees the actual stele, it is clear that the inscription is the original one, and both the lettering and the type of the stele can be dated to the first quarter of the 3rd century. And I have proposed some new readings for this important text for the history of Christianity, but what I will now show to you, and what is very interesting to common audiences, is the use of let's say, numerology here, because in this period it was, of course, still dangerous to present oneself as a Christian. So this Christian, Tatianus, presented the name of Jesus with the number 888. And of course, when I discuss this with people, they immediately remember the infamous number 666 from the Apocalypse. So they mm, can understand this very well. We also have at the bottom of the text an abbreviation for Nazarenos with 3 letters. This inscription, the discussion of this inscription can lead us to a more general discussion about different type of codes used by the ancient people. And we can, of course, show another examples of such coded messages. For example, this dedication again from Philippopolis, where the name of the dedicant is presented as a number 1383. I will add that some years ago I asked a colleague who works with digital technologies to try to find the meaning of this number. So he made a program which get the numeric value of all extant Greek and Latin names, of course, written with Greek letters, but there were some names which corresponded to this number, but they were not likely to have been encountered in Philippopolis. So this is still a mystery. Of course, the person could have 2 names or a name with some spelling variant. So probably we should continue to investigate this interesting number. Funerary inscriptions can offer us very different looks into the past, and we can connect them with other things which we presume are known to the general public. The next topic, which is also connected with mostly with funerary epigrams, is of course the topic of love and family. Since the colleague before me already taught many things about this, I will try only to show a few things. This is, of course, the famous epigram from Nicopol of Aelia, which is one of the best verse inscriptions from the lower Danube, with many topics discussed here, parts of the text with translation. First, this interesting practice to put flowers and also fruit, also food, when you honor the dead, something which, of course, still exists. We have here the myth of Orpheus involved, which is especially interesting, at least for the Bulgarian public, because they usually think of Orpheus as our national hero, probably our first national hero, because, of course, he was a Thracian. So this is also interesting for them. The ideal Roman woman with all her qualities, which were some of them were already mentioned. She is caste. She knows how to talk to her husband to give useful advice, and he says that she was his lar, spes, and unica vita. She didn't have secrets, and she desired what I desired and rejected all that I would reject. A sentence which we can connect with various literary sources. I remember this text from Sallust's Cunioratio Catiline, et idem vele atque idem nole hi est firma amicitia. And the end of the text, again, that without me she couldn't enjoy her meal or the gift of Bacchus or the wine. And again, this prayer to the future generations to adorn the place where the inscription stood. And as we know, this inscription is now made into a fountain, which was for many centuries the center of the life of the town of Nicopol. So the prayer of this man was fulfilled. And even nowadays, this fountain is the most famous place in this town. Another example is a series of epitaphs which follow a common model and which start with the first words of the famous epitaph of Ovid. They are all published, but the publications are not quite good, so they need revision. The first one from Abritus of a woman, Victorina, and her husband Ursinus. In hexameters, not always so good. And I will address only one of the themes in this epitaph, that they speak about the children as pignura amoris, a pledge or a guarantee of our love. And in one case, the children will keep the memory of their parents. In other, the children have already died, so there is no one who will keep the memory of the parents. And also these epitaphs end with a sentence about the mortality, and that the people should be happy until they are alive, but they should know that everyone is mortal. Here are some examples about this pignora amoris, which we have in Ovid. We have this also in other Latin poets. Of course, here the other epigram, it is a fragment, again from Abritus, where we have the same notions with I have underlined in the Latin text the passages which correspond to the text of the other epigram. They were probably by the same author, or even if not by the same author, they followed the same model. And the third one from Transmarisca, unfortunately, it is probably lost, but according to these two examples from Abritus, it is possible to propose a revised reading, which again shares the same notions about marriage, love, and death. Another topic which can be connected with the previous is children as hope of their parents, and children which follow and fulfill the wishes of their parents. Here is one example. I will not speak much about it because it is included among the inscriptions which we are preparing for the website of the Prometheus project. So in a few months, it will be able to be seen with commentary and so on. But here we see a child, a son who followed the steps of his father as a soldier and fulfilled the hopes of his parents. and he gives his image, and he says that his parents must be proud of him, and obviously all the people who see the monument should be proud, because this is again from the territory of Augusta Triana, and we know that Thrace in this period, the 3rd century, provided a large part of the soldiers for the Roman Empire. So this enables us to discuss this topic as well. And the final topic, which is now, unfortunately, now as important as it was in the Roman times, is the peace. And here are two examples. The first one, it is not exactly in verse, it's mixed text with some poetic elements and prosaic text. It's interesting because it's the latest honorific monument erected by the city of Augusta Traiana. It is for Constantine II, and he is praised as the champion of peace and Horegos of good fortune. And the last one, which is again from Augusta Traiana. Unfortunately, only the last 4 verses are entirely preserved. But otherwise, we can understand its overall sense. It is a prayer to all the gods of the peace, which during the peace should come to the city, which was torn by wars. But now here are the pleasant chorus of the Muses, their leader Apollo, Dionysos, the Graces, the nymphs, Cupid, and so on. And they should go to the nice temple in the city which is now strong after the war, and the last verses, which are entirely preserved, are as important now as they were then, because they wish us to have a gracious life, to follow the deeds of the Muses, to care about love, to have loud parties, to have splendor with music, with songs, with feasts, and to enjoy a pleasant life until our very end. I think that this is a very strong message, especially in these years when wars, unfortunately, are still getting every day hundreds of lives all over the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikolai, for this interesting presentation, which reminds us that after all, we are and we have always been throughout centuries people who live, love, would like to enjoy peace. And now we're just in time for a cup of coffee, and we'll have the discussion at the end of this session. So thank you, and for all the conveners which are online in half an hour. Yeah, is it so? I don't know. I don't have the program before me, but okay, 20 minutes. In 20 minutes, we'll be back. Be sure to be back too.